Well, hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Well, I believe spring has finally sprung here in the great state of Michigan, and that means two things. One, good fishing is to be had and good turkey hunting all across our great state, and we've got both on this week's show. We're going to start in the North Woods and do a little turkey hunting in the hills of Leelanau County. After that, we're going to head down to the southeast corner of our state, do some walleye fishing on the Detroit River. We're also going to stop in with our friends at MUCC and take a look at their youth camp, and if that wasn't enough, we also have a little story from the trout opener for you. So lots of good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's the love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Meijer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meijer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meijer. By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53 just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
Probably my favorite county in the lower has to be Leelanau. It has a great place to do about anything, but today I was here to chase longbeards.
Well, we got a few turkeys picked out, but the bigger group is up by my grandma's farm, and there was 3 Jakes and 1 Big Tom in the one group.
Okay.
And then there was also another Big Tom that was just off of the property about 2 hours before sunset last night. So we're thinking that's our best option, and if that doesn't pan out, we'll go from there.
And we're bow hunting.
We're using bows.
Okay.
I am always a little leery about bow hunting turkeys, but Justin and his buddy Lauren had quite the setup. If the birds got into our decoys, they would be in our lap. And as these birds made their way in, we had all of our fingers crossed, so just sit back and enjoy the sounds of spring. Yeah, you might be wondering why Justin isn't shooting. Well, a few reasons. One, the longbeard that was with this group was just behind us. Maybe he was going to make his way in. Number two, the spot in the blind where Justin was made it tough for him to get moved around and get a good, clean shot on these birds, even though they were only about 4 paces from the blind. So, as they left, we made a few decisions and said that Lauren would pull the trigger first if the jakes came back in, since he had a much better vantage point on the birds coming from the right-hand side. Lauren put 2 really good shots on this bird, and it looked to be fatally hit. But now our attention turned to the longbeard, who just kept milling around behind our blind in this apple orchard. He came as close as a few yards away, close enough we could hear his footsteps, but he wouldn't get in front of our windows. I guess that's why he got to be as old as he is. So we called and called, gobbled, danced a jig, did whatever we could to try to move that bird out in front of us. But we would have no luck in moving that nice tom. So we decided to go check on Lauren's bird. Just off the side of the orchard is where the bird ended up, and here is one for you. One of the birds he was with was pecking this bird for at least a half hour, if not more. I've seen them attack each other, especially a wounded bird, but not quite like this before. It was really something to see.
Yeah, tell me what happened here. We had kind of an interesting morning.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting morning for sure. We had a lot of activity.
Yeah, we did.
I beat up the fan.
Well, yeah.
Doing some strutting.
Well, not only that, that other turkey was sitting here for what? Probably an hour?
Yeah.
Maybe half an hour beating up on him. But
I'd say we probably were on the birds at what? By 7?
It's a nice little Jake.
Oh, yeah, before that. Yeah, that's nice.
Nice little Jake. Yeah. With a bow, I'll take him all day long.
Heck yeah.
You know?
Nice shot.
And it was nice and close. What, probably about 5 yards? 6 yards maybe?
That first one. The second shot was out there a little ways.
Yeah.
Second shot was, I figured it was about 28.
Yeah,
that's why I ranged it. Or, you know, guesstimated it at.
Looks like you hit where you were aiming to.
Yeah, I definitely,
oh, it takes the pressure off for the rest of the day.
It does.
Well, we chased birds till dark that day, had a great time, had a few close calls, but no more success. Thanks to Justin and Lauren for letting me tag along on a perfect spring day in the hills of Leelanau County.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown. For this week's show, Jenny and I had the chance to head down to the Detroit River to do a little fishing ourselves with good friend of the show, Todd Robbins.
Hey, boy, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We're going to find some fish today?
Yes, we are. Confident.
Today, Jenny and I were going to take turns fishing and filming, hoping to get a good story and put some fish in the freezer. We were starting near Wyandotte, hoping to avoid the crowds and find some walleyes in the deeper water.
Up here, the only difference between here and Trenton is the water depth. We're averaging probably 25 to 35 up here, and it just makes it a little more difficult if you're not familiar with jigging to feel the bottom, versus down in Trenton you're fishing on average 8 to 17 foot. So, but there's just as many fish here as there is down in Trenton, I promise you.
Why do you like it fishing here? A lot of guys go right in the city of Detroit to catch the fish.
For me, it's a straight shot right from where I live. Easy access. There's 3 launches right close here, and I spend most of my time fishing right in this area, in the Wyandotte area. And there's a lot more, you have the islands, you have a lot more contour lines and breaks, and it's lacking the big boulders, the good structure that Trenton has, and that's what makes Trenton so good. But for just good fishing, all out, not retying every 5 minutes, this is the place to come, I think. So we'll see if we can get some fish.
Here we go, hey?
Didn't take too long. Yeah.
First drift, right?
First drift, maybe 100 yards or so. Hopefully we can get 14 more. This is my creation. I don't have a name for it. I'd be lying to you if I told you what the name of it was. It's just it's a 1 ounce jig, chartreuse twister tail, and a brown Wyandotte worm with the trailer hook, a stinger hook. And that's what that fish came in on, is a stinger hook. I like throwing this when the water's stained like it is today. I think it's more bulky presentation, lets them hone in on the sound as it's bouncing along the bottom there. So we'll put a variety on it first just to see what they want, and then we'll go from there. Well, I won't go on who got the biggest fish first, but
We're going quantity,
we're going
not
for
quality.
quantity. Yeah.
We're going for quantity, not quality.
Okay.
1-1. Game on.
Last couple of weeks, it's been pretty bad. We had a lot of rain, a lot of wind, muddied the water up. But as bad as it's been, there's been more big fish caught this year than I can ever remember. And where we're at right now, it's the last week in April. A lot of the males, I think most of the females are out of here. A lot of the males are moving in, and it's just really starting to clear up. It's not the normal nice blue water that we're used to seeing. We've got about 1.5 feet of visibility, but it's good fishing water. And like I said, this is going to be the week that it'll probably pop, and you'll hear a lot of good reports coming in from down here at the river.
The morning was off to a great start. We had bounced around a little bit, but managed to find a fish or two almost everywhere we went. Rain the night before had the river pretty dirty, but there seemed to be just enough clarity to catch a few fish. Everything was going as planned, until the unexpected happened. A broken throttle cable had left us stranded, with nothing but the trolling motor.
Well, here we are again. Again, this is fishing. Day on the water, you never know what's going to happen. And started out okay, got a few fish, but then we had some mechanical problems with the motor. So we're going to make the best of it, and we're going to fish back all the way to the launch, and got to play the hand that was dealt to you. So this is what was dealt. We're going to see if we can make something else happen here in the last drift of the day.
The fattest one yet, isn't it?
It's our best fish. We're just getting done. We had some boat problems, so we had to use a trolling motor, and we don't have a whole lot of options. But I actually didn't think that was a walleye. I about took the pole out of my hands, and they don't usually bite quite like that. But it's our nicest one today.
So correct me if I'm wrong, you're the only fishless one on the boat.
Hey, I've been running the camera. It's been tough. And then Jordan's got the best spot on the boat. Seems like that's how it always goes. I've got a lot of good excuses, so we'll see. I have missed a few fish. I have missed them, but by God, I think I might finally have a walleye on. This better not be some sort of sheephead or white bass. Hey, I got one.
All right.
I'll be darned. Jordan thought it couldn't be done. There it is, Detroit River walleye. This is fun.
After losing the big motor and being left with just a trolling motor, I think all three of us thought the day was pretty much over. That was, of course, before we started to catch fish right in front of the boat ramp. As we continued to make short drifts using only the trolling motor, we continued to pick up fish. And a few good ones, too. That's what we're after. It felt like a better fish, but I said that last time, and it was a 14-inch send 'em back. This is a nice fish, though. This is kind of what we've been looking for. That a lot of small fish in the river this time of year, but this is excellent. We're all of a sudden hitting them here. It's kind of late morning. We're without a motor, so we're really close to the ramp. Just fishing right in front of the ramp, and we're starting to hit a few fish. This is fun.
I use 1 ounce regardless of what depth I'm fishing, and it varies. You know, everybody will tell you that 1 ounce is too heavy. This is just personal preference for me. Heavier to me is better. One, it helps you keep your line vertical, and for those who are not very familiar with jigging, it helps them keep the line vertical. You know, I'm doing the best I can up here at the trolling motor, but it just enhances what you're feeling on the bottom, you know, through the fire line and the rod. Makes you feel the fish bite that much better, and whether we're in 17 feet or 40 feet, I never retie. I always leave 1 ounce on. Some guys will argue that fact, but that's just what I choose to do. I'm not saying it's the best way or the only way. It's just the way I do it.
We weren't sure what was going to happen. We were catching a couple here and there, and then the motor broke, and we thought it was over, but Todd said no. Let's just troll back over to a spot right next to the boat launch and keep drifting down. And we've eked it out. We're getting pretty close. We're going to have to count them pretty quick here.
Somehow we've kind of etched our way. We're getting closer to a limit now, and we're using just the trolling motor. That's a pretty good day. This wasn't your typical day of fishing on the Detroit River, but we made the best of our situation and ended up doing pretty good. Jenny and I both ended up putting several fish in the boat, thanks to our guide for the day, Todd Robbins. The Detroit River can be a world-class fishery when the conditions are right. Today we were pretty close, and I'm already looking forward to next year's return trip. The trout opener is a big deal to many anglers throughout the state, but especially in northern Michigan. And for our next story, I was able to tag along with an angler as he carried on the family tradition of heading north for the opener. For the 2013 trout opener, I was tagging along with Mark Ash. Mark usually makes a trip with a variety of family members, but this year was all by himself. That meant the two of us would be heading out to hit the small streams north of Cadillac in search of a few trout.
It started years ago. My dad started the tradition of trout fishing for the opener. We used to head up north and a whole bunch of guys go. It's been a great time over the years, getting our worms first and then come on up and catch a couple trout. And it's grown over the years. Last year we had a large, probably 6-7 guys, brothers and cousins and all kinds of people. And usually do really well, have a nice camp, trout camp up here. This year's a little tougher, a little slow, the trout.
The morning bite was pretty slow, and with weather forecasts predicting 60 degrees and sunny for the rest of the day, things were not looking great for the opener. Fishing aside, it was hard not to enjoy this beautiful northern Michigan morning.
Happy fishermen. That's brook trout. Opening day. Love it. Trout opener. Nothing better. Pretty much. I just use another number 10 wide bend. Small hook, hopefully, because obviously with trout you don't want something large. But for me, I like the offset shank like that. It's nice compared to being a straight. A couple sinkers, about a foot up or more.
This is about as basic of a trout fishing setup as you will find. A small number 10 hook with a couple of sinkers a foot or so up the line. But the style of fishing was a little different.
We're a small creek fishing, back in the woods, going from culvert to culvert, things like that. It's really interesting because you got to find your holes under the brush piles or trees, things like that. It's kind of tough actually fishing because you got to crawl sometimes just up to a spot and then drop your line in. Just enough to get the fish to bite it because they're really spooky. But yes, it's a lot tougher fishing than your average open water fishing. You got to crawl through there and watch your line and watch getting snags, things like that too, on the brush. But it's a lot of fun and also beautiful country too.
Mark took fishing small creeks to a new level, fishing areas that most anglers would walk right by. But these normal hotspots weren't producing just yet.
And I do believe that the opener is probably a little bit slower this year just because colder temperatures in water. It's a bright sunny day, very warm today. Make a big difference probably in the run. It's just a very slow opener. We target brook trout and brown trout is the primary fish that we catch. We can catch them up obviously to the legal limit up to the 10 and 12 inch and even 14 size range we've caught before here also. So that's obviously the target is the bigger fish if we possibly can. But we also catch our average 10 and 12 inches ones also, which is our great table fare also. It tastes very good. Love it. Trout fishing on the opener.
Despite a slow sunny opener, there is plenty of good trout fishing to come. And even with a slow bite, it's pretty tough to beat a northern Michigan trout opener.
Well, the trout opener is always a special time of the year, and the trout fishing should only be getting better over the next several weeks. What we're going to do now is shift gears and take a look at something that all of us think is pretty important, and that is getting kids into the outdoors. Well, our friends over at MUCC are really stepping up to the plate through their youth camp and getting more folks into the outdoors.
The Michigan United Conservation Clubs has operated summer youth camp programs continuously since 1946. Over the years, more than 55,000 kids have learned to enjoy the outdoors and have left camp with a deeper appreciation and respect for the natural world. Over more than 6 decades, the MUCC camp was located at various locations around the state. Recently, the youth camp has found a home at the newly restored Cedar Lake Outdoors Center in Chelsea, Michigan. The gorgeous property features rolling hills, tall pines, and frontage on crystal clear Cedar Lake.
Compared to a lot of camps, our special niche is the emphasis on getting the kids outside and teaching about the environment and trying to get them a deeper understanding of the outdoors that surrounds them. Around the nation, we have kids under 13 years of age are only getting 30 minutes a week of unstructured outdoor play. So our camp runs for almost 10 hours every day and is almost completely outside. So we're hoping to develop a stewardship initiative within the kids and get them connected to the land so they can use it for the rest of their lives.
Anybody know what kind of quail? North American? Close. They live in North America. Well, they're not South American. They're what's called bobwhite quail. And these guys, on occasion, these guys are pretty young. They're only about 4.5 weeks old, so they're just babies. You'll hear them, they'll actually, on occasion, whistle their name and say, Bob White, Bob White. Do you think they should be in this bright green grass? No. If they wanted to live in bright green grass, what color would their feathers be? Bright green. You guys can use 2 fingers and come on up and you can rub him right down his back. I'm gonna have you kind of avoid his head because he's just a baby and he hasn't quite figured out that this is his job here. So even though it looks really spiky, it's soft, right? It's not spiky at all. So he's really just tricking you.
We got the idea of a good shelter is it protects you from, like, it keeps you warm, I guess, and it protects you from water. We're trying to make it waterproof, so like that's why we're putting the leaves and stuff on there, so it helps better. It needs to be stable too.
Well, we just put a giant log on that tree right there, and then we put sticks on the side of it to cover to make a wall, and then we put ferns and tall grass to put insulation.
What's that for?
It's for a fort just because we're making a team building activity. And this is to make sure when the rain comes, it doesn't get all wet inside.
Today, the day campers are building fires, so it's a program we offer here. It just teaches them about fire safety and fire building. We have them collect tinder, kindling, and fuel, and we try to have every group get a fire going, and we were successful today, so they all had it last. Our goal is to have them last about 3 minutes.
Building a fire.
You're building a fire? How do you build a fire? Tell me about it.
We use sticks, and like we build a structure.
All of us are building
and then put
a
like
fire.
leaves and dried grass over it. And then we light a match and put it on it, and it makes a
How do you
fire.
keep it going?
Blow on it a little bit, and then or put leaves on it.
Our camp has 7 different themes that spans from inland fishing to conservation, as well as upland bird hunting and deer hunting. We also teach the kids wild outdoor survival skills and some primitive skills. We get them out canoeing, shooting, archery, as well as 22s and some of the shotgunning. We also do shelter building and fire building and more environmental skills like that too.
Aim, release, follow through, and reflect.
Wow, it teaches you how to survive on your own wits. You grow up and you learn that capture the flag is more than chasing people through the woods. You learn how to handle a canoe or start a fire, and you realize that those are the little things that leave the impression on your life as you get older. I look back at all the things I did as a kid, and the 3 summers I went to MUCC camp by far stand out as some of the best times I ever had as a kid. And so now my kids are 9 and 13, and this is their 2nd summer they're going to MUCC camp.
Throughout the week, campers broaden their awareness of conservation issues while having fun enjoying the wild outdoors. Small groups ensure that each and every camper receives individual instruction. From the dining hall to the new yurt, Camp for Kids is focused on outdoor education. Since moving to Cedar Lake, the MUCC affiliate Chelsea Rod and Gun Club has worked tirelessly to provide individual firearm training to each camper. By the end of the week, the kids will thoroughly understand firearm safety, and every camper comes away with their hunter safety certificate, enabling them to hunt for years to come. It's a tradition of firearm training that has been passed down from generation to generation at Camp for Kids. Whether it's down at the waterfront catching some bluegills, learning how to paddle a canoe, or climbing the rock wall, campers gain an understanding of the outdoors that will stick with them for the rest of their lives.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching Michigan Out of Doors this week. Now, coming up over the next few weeks, we've got several more turkey hunts to show you. We've also been doing a lot of fishing, both in the rivers and on the big water. Lots of good stuff coming up on those fronts, and it looks like a lot of you have been doing pretty well. We've been getting inundated both on Facebook and email with successful pictures of fishing trips and turkey hunts, and so hopefully next week we're going to be bringing you a quite lengthy bragging board segment with some of your pictures on it. So thanks so much for joining us this week, and thanks for watching Michigan Out of Doors, and hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by By Zimmer Roofing and Construction in Port Huron, featuring Duralast roofing systems made in Michigan. Zimmer Roofing and Construction provides installation, maintenance, service, and repair, serving commercial and residential clients on the web at zimmerroofing.com. By Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. Closed captioning is brought to you by Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, East to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my